surprised me with Brett Favre.
He's done.
And what a perfect fit. Brett Favre with Al Davis. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yikes.
Al
You
Davis.
think Al Davis is that crazy?
Yeah, I do. I really think Al Davis has lost his mind 5 years ago, and unfortunately the Raiders are trying to become a viable team again in spite of having Al Davis as members-only jacket.
I think
I
that...
hope he dies soon.
Oh, my goodness. You're
Okay.
in a lot. I mean, normally that's a terrible... It might be a bad thing to say, but there's a lot of people who have the same sentiment.
Oh, a ton of
Believe me.
people. A ton of people.
Because the Raiders fans would just love to become, big time again. As long as that man runs the team, it's not going to happen.
But there's probably about as much truth to the Brett Favre coming back rumors as there are the stinking Albert Pujols moving to Springfield and buying a house on the lake rumors that everyone keeps asking me about. I don't think that's happening, people, and I don't think Brett Favre's coming back.
I've heard that rumor a few times. I also heard it being talked about on St. Louis radio.
Is that right?
So I don't know how far-fetched that is, but I wouldn't mind Albert being my neighbor.
Wouldn't you be my neighbor?
All right, who's a worse owner then? Davis or the guy running, what's his name, Brown?
Mike Brown.
In Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. Well, listen, at least Al Davis is trying. He's just a little bit senile and can't handle it, but he actually wants to win. Mike Brown drives me crazy because here you have a guy like Carson Palmer, who you draft to be the face of your franchise. He sticks with you for several years. You bring in a bunch of rejects and delinquents for him to play with, and finally he gets fed up and says, look, trade me or I'm going to retire. And so just to show that you're a big, tough, strong owner, Mike Brown's just saying, well, no, you're retiring because you signed a contract. Like,
I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Where does he live at? This is the NFL. I mean, contracts are barely worth the price of the paper they're written on. It's just a contract. Everybody gets out of contracts in everyday life. I mean, it's just a contract. And now
you're not helping anyone. You're not helping the team.
Not yet.
You're not helping the fans. You're not helping...
He's being emotional instead of being a good business person. A good business person would say, well, if I'm not going to have Carson Palmer, at least let me get something in return.
Sure.
I mean, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, yep, you're the owner. We all know how big and powerful you are. Congratulations. Now Carson Palmer's retiring, and you're even worse than you were before.
Did Chad Johnson leave any money on the table? Or was he a free agent? Was he legitimate?
No, he got traded, and then I believe he had to get a new contract, pretty much a new contract in New England. But I don't think his contract was just up in Cincinnati. But Mike Brown had no problems trading Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco.
So he can make negotiations with other players, just not Carson.
Just
Palmer?
not Carson.
Unreal.
Just not the one guy who's never been a distraction, who's never got into trouble, who's never voiced out against management or against the coaches.
Who gave you your only 2 winning seasons in the last 10 years?
No, that's the guy you punish.
Real quick, by the way, Willis
we
McGahee...
have 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, Willis McGahee is not a Bronco, so people who have Willis McGahee even thinking of drafting, he's not a Bronco yet.
That didn't
yet.
happen?
Not yet, but we'll keep tabs on it. Stay listening to Sports 101 every Saturday morning here on Sports Radio 1450 at 8 o'clock. For Mark, Eric, I'm Adam. Have a